Well, I'm watching all the videos coming out now about the messing around with critics of, first it was HBO, but now it's popping out that no, Disney did this too. So what's now hitting me is I'm like, wait a second. So, how long has this been going on? People could posit however long it's been going on. But what this would mean is that at some point, this was something that was decided was an effective method. Now, I'm approaching all of this as I'm having somebody tell me about this at the fund management meeting. Somebody's explaining to me, well, it appears Disney has, and now I'm listening to this person explain this to me, going, where's my money, Mortimer? Where's our fucking money, Mortimer? And I'm like, I don't know, Saul. The kid's about to explain it to us. And so I'm thinking about this like, wait, so you knew who these critics were on Twitter. You started messing with them. You actually went out of your way to hire people to mess with these critics. So you knew what they were critiquing, like you knew what they were saying, they knew, like, they don't like this quality of this or that aspect of this or that story, right? I'm sitting there, I'm just rolling through this logically. I'm walking through it, thinking of as I'm like the consigliere to Mortimer. Mortimer pays me very well. I've been talking to the lawyers, Mortimer, and I'm thinking this might be fraud, but I first want to get your expert advice before pursuing anything like this, because of the expense of our legal team, sir. And so I'm thinking these people were on Twitter, knew who these critics were, started hiring people to go out of their way to mess with the critics, so they knew the critics' critiques. Then on top of it, these people who were hired, well, they did all kinds of odd things, possibly, veiled threats, trying to, tell people, oh, we'll speak to your employers. There's very high likelihood that there's people who they were at some, magazine, or they were at this and that, and there was pressure put on the website. Disney will come down on you like a ton of bricks unless, you pull this person's critique on your site, or, you let them go, or you don't take them on for contract work or something. More and more people, I think, are going to start bringing up, this seemed to happen to them. Already, Clownfish has talked about kind of the ways that you would do this if you were Disney, and apparently ways that they themselves have either gone through, know people who have, and can come up with receipts. So if I'm this person, I'm telling Mortimer and I'm telling Saul about this, and I'd imagine they're looking at each other and they're like, wait, so we're these critics, and they got to give benefit of a doubt. They're like, okay, well, we're these critics, what were they doing? So no, these were people on Twitter. Maybe they had a blog, maybe they had a YouTube channel. They would make their critiques about various movies, this, that, and the other. Said, oh, well, who were they? Well, most of them were just people on the internet. Okay, so famous people? No. So a bunch of nobodies with Twitter accounts were being attacked by one of the biggest corporations in entertainment, who were hiring people to fuck with them and maybe their friends and family because they didn't like what they had to say about a goddamn flick we made. Yes. what I mean, as this is the logic of this is building up. At some point, it becomes like, okay, they did this though. That's they did this action. Yes, they definitely did this action, because at that point it becomes, why would they do something like that? Like, this seems so dumb. And then it becomes, oh, well, it seems that they wanted to make the movies that they wanted to make, whether they were good, no matter what the critics had to say. And that's where I think it's going to get interesting. Part 2 in a moment.